Hello everyone, welcome to ECON 102 Intermediate Microeconomics. My name is Chen Feng and I'm going to be the instructor for this course. In this video, I'm going to explain the syllabus in more detail, and at the end of the video, I'm going to provide an overview of the course. So you can download the syllabus on iLearn. Most of the questions that you have regarding the course can be found in the syllabus. And of course, if you are still unsure about some course logistics, don't hesitate to ask me. So this is an online course. I decided to pre-record my lecture videos. I will post those videos online and provide links to the videos. The TA will hold discussion sessions live and record the live discussion sessions. She will upload the recorded videos afterwards. I will decide the course materials into weekly modules. On Saturday every week at 10 a.m., I'm going to release the weekly module for the following week, which includes all the lecture recordings and the assignments and other course materials that you need to study and finish for that week. I will also send an announcement, including the detailed instructions for all of those. This will give you the flexibility to study and work at your own pace. However, this also requires that you will be able to be self-sufficient and self-disciplined to completing all those tasks on time. If you will ever have any question about the course materials, about course logistics, or you need any help from me, the easiest way to find me is to send me an email. You can also talk to me during the office hours. I decided to schedule my office hour during the time when the lecture was originally scheduled. So my office hours will be on Monday and Wednesday from 5:30 p.m. to 6:50 p.m. And if, for example, you are in a different time zone, so this time is not convenient for you, you can always email me and we can make an appointment for a different time. Jasmine hasn't decided her office hours yet, so after she tells me her office hour, I will post it and update the syllabus on iLearn. And you can look for that on iLearn later on. In this course, we are going to take a more serious treatment of the concepts we learned in Econ 3. We are going to model the decisions of consumers and firms mathematically. And lastly, we are going to combine the consumer's behavior and firm's behavior to characterize a perfectly competitive market. After taking this class, you will be able to find the most efficient outcome given the resource constraint. You will also be able to make better decisions, both as a consumer and as a firm, and also understand the decisions of other people. And you will also be prepared for the coursework that you might take in the future in economics and in business. The course materials that are required for this class, the most important one is iLearn. If you don't have access to iLearn, please tell me as soon as possible. On iLearn, I will make announcements, I will post homeworks, and I will post other study resources. We will also do the quizzes, your homeworks, and all the exams on iLearn. I'm going to follow the textbook Microeconomics by Besenko and Brodigan, but it is not necessary that you purchase this textbook. You will not be responsible for knowing any materials that is not covered in class or in the discussion sections. If you have already purchased a textbook, feel free to return it. You can find less expensive alternatives. For the grading, there will be 2 quizzes with 5% each. There will be a midterm exam worth 30%, a final exam worth 40%. There will be a couple of online homeworks worth a total of 20%, and there will be 5% extra credit. You can see the syllabus for an example of how to calculate your grade, assuming you achieve certain percentages for each of those assessments. And I'm going to explain each of them in the following. Here are the exam dates and times. The midterm exam is scheduled on Monday in the third week from 4 to 6 p.m. This is the time originally scheduled for lecture, so you are expected to be available during this time. The final exam is scheduled on Friday in the fifth week from 6 to 8 p.m. The exams will be a combination of multiple choices and short answers. As we approach those days, I will provide you with more instructions as how we are going to do the exams, and also how you are going to submit your solutions to the short answer questions on iLearn. And note that those exam dates will not change. If we were to miss the midterm exam, either for a expected or unexpected but legitimate excuse, we can make arrangements. You may take the midterm exam before the rest of the class, or you may move the weight to the final. And there will not be make-up exams for missed midterm exams. The final exams is mandatory. If you will not be able to take the final exam, you will receive a 0 on it. So please plan accordingly, and if it is really having a time conflict with your schedule, you should consider dropping this course. So for each chapter, I will post an homework online, which consists of a bunch of multiple choice questions. Those questions will be representative of what you will see on the exams, and also helps you understand the materials that are covered in those chapters. For the grading purposes, I'm going to drop the homework that has the lowest score. You can attempt those homeworks an unlimited number of times, and the highest score achieved before the due date will count. You can only receive credit for the homework if you finish it before the due date, and you will not be able to access the homework after the due date. Try not to start the homework right before the due date. It may cause some technical problems on iLearn. Also, please make sure that you receive a grade after you submit the homework, as there could be something weird going on iLearn. So, and if you do not see a grade after you submit your homework, try to finish it again, as you have an unlimited number of attempts. And after the due date, I will repost all the homework so you can access them and study. And those homeworks will not be graded. As this is an online course, I'm not going to monitor attendance explicitly. So to give you incentive to watch the lecture videos and keep up with the class, I'm going to ask 2 questions every week that are for extra credit in the lecture videos. You will only be able to find those questions in the lecture recordings, and they will not appear in the slides that I post online. So by answering those questions correctly, you can receive up to a total of 5% in your final course grade. So this is what a weekly module looks like. Under the tab Course Materials, every Saturday morning, a folder will appear. This is the folder for week 1. It contains a couple of items that you need to finish. So in week 1, there will be an introduction video. I haven't put a link to it because as I took the screenshot, I haven't recorded this video, so there isn't a link yet. There will also be the lecture recordings for chapter 3 and the first part of chapter 4. After watching the chapter 3 lecture recordings, you can work on the chapter 3 homework, which is graded, and this graded homework will disappear after the due date. I also upload the practice problems, which are a bunch of short answer questions that you should at least take a look on it, although you are not required to finish anything based on that. And in the discussion sections, the TA may cover some of those. And you can also ask her for solutions. I will post the solutions to the practice problems 1 week later. In the TA sections, Jasmine will go over some practice problems, and sometimes they might be different from what are posted on iLearn. And she will also answer any questions that you have regarding the lectures. Going to the TA sections could be helpful for studying the materials because the lectures are recorded and we are not communicating in a very interactive way. You cannot ask me for questions instantaneously. So in the TA sections, Jasmine can make up to that. So although this is an online course, please be kind and respectful to other people, especially in Zoom meetings. There is zero tolerance for cheating and academic misconduct in this course. And if you were ever caught to commit academic misconduct, it will result in a failing grade and you will be reported to the university. You should see the syllabus and the school website for more details. If you are uncertain whether certain actions are allowed or not, you can always ask for clarification at first. So here is an overview of the course. In the first part, we are going to talk about consumer behavior, in which one we are going to define preferences and utility functions, which are mathematical ways of representing preferences, and then the budget constraint, in which two we are going to solve the constraint optimization problem and find the optimal choice. We will also find the change in the price of a good and how it affects people's demand for the good, and eventually derive the market demand curve. After that, you will take the midterm exam on the Monday in the third week. The remaining of the third week, you will learn production functions with a single input and more than one input, and also the concept of return to scale. In week 4, we will solve the cost minimization problem of a firm and also derive the long-run and short-run cost curves. In the last part, in week 5, we are going to combine the consumer behavior and the firm behavior that we have discussed previously and characterize the perfectly competitive market. We are going to find the short-run equilibrium condition for the perfectly competitive market. And lastly, if we have time, we will talk briefly about monopoly markets. And you will take the final exam on Friday in week 5. So if we were meeting in person, I would ask if you have any questions, raise your hand. But as I'm only recording myself, I can only say that if you have any questions, please email me. And thank you for watching the video.